Hello everyone, and today I would like to have more like this conversational video with you, discussing about some things that are happening in the background and some thoughts that I would like to share and discuss, especially if you're starting out. And I currently was building this little project for the Halloween to have a little SQL tutorial where you could play around, but I realized that it could be something more than just a Halloween gig. So in past I have been teaching the SQL basics, and what I saw that it is quite boring if you're working with just plain some data, random data that is being given by the teacher, and to perform some arbitrary queries that doesn't make any sense just for the sake of executing queries. So 1 year I did experiment and created the data more interesting. For example, solving a murder mystery where you need to find in the data who could be suspect or the serial killer. And it made more interesting the querying and trying different things than if you would give them, I don't know, the default city or the world database. For this proof of concept, I created this simple terminal where you can execute different queries to see the data. But one of the key components that I wanted is to be like story driven. So there is some sort of story that you're following, and it needed to be somehow presented to you, to the end user. And one of the ways that I imagined that it could be done with this chat component, that there is interaction with your chief or other colleagues where you send messages or provide hints if you're stuck, or just give the tasks to do. And of course, as anything else, I just wanted to quickly vibe code that as an example. And even that this component was simple enough, I think it raised many issues with it that you or any other junior developer should be aware. Because while it is fancy to get the quick result, you really must understand what is being given to you. And usually it is not that good at the bottom. So for example, I have exported this component of this chat element as it was generated initially by the AI. And it directly actually showcases many flaws that AI generated code holds, and especially if you are a new developer, that could hurt you. The good coding practices that are being violated by these kind of code generations are not like that I have come up with. They were refined with time, with the experience from previous generations of developers, where they were solving some particular problems and they saw a pattern in that. And that's why there are many common techniques that can be used, but still AI currently doesn't directly use them. So just looking at this component itself, we can see there is not much. There is this backdrop section, which is this background for the chat, header for the chat, then the chat message section, where you can see it actually generates this system message that I have. And here it goes through the messages and generates the chat bubbles one by one. Then there is the status bar at the bottom, and that's all. So simple little component. So what are my problems with it? If you look at this component, we can see that there are many things being violated from the good coding perspective. For example, this component is both handling data and the rendering part. So it has provided hard-coded messages for the chat interactions that you open up. Then if you look closely, we have tied coupling with some concrete images, some image implementations that are hard-coded here in the avatars. So there is no possibility for me quickly change without replacing the image. So the data is tied to the component. It's not extendable. More on that. We here are deciding which chat message is being shown on the left side or the right side with the avatar based on the index of the message. So we're only restricting chat messages to happening one at a time. So one actor can say one thing. Then if you look here, for example, it is combining both Tailwind and ordinary styling, which pretty much is the opposite of what I wanted. I explicitly said use Tailwind, do not generate any custom styling. And now I have this hard-coded component, so I cannot do anything with it. I cannot extend it, I cannot change the messages, I cannot add messages. Nothing has been generated for me. But here you could argue with me and say, Edgar, but well, AI did the exactly things that you asked. It generated a chat component with some messages. And you would be right. I didn't set up any rules, any system prompts, any guidelines. But I didn't also ask for any security things, so it should skip them. The point is that I would do that initially without even thinking about that. But this is the part which comes with the experience, with system design skills, which we start to analyze and think ahead what could be used for us. Let's give an AI a chance. Let's ask it to apply good programming practices, refactor this component so it is more reusable, and see the results. And I still will not do any fancy guidelines. I would do like a new developer would start, just open an AI, for example in agent mode, and ask it, this component is violating best coding practices. Please fix it and make it more reusable and extendable. And here I'm explicitly not very precise because I'm, as a junior developer, I'm not knowing any good standards. I'm not knowing what things are violated. For me, it looks very good. The code works, the results are there. But I cannot ask the AI to do things that I have not experienced or I don't know, because the issues usually come in the long term. As with these all AI vibe coding projects, they always show this beautiful beginning, but no one shows what happens at the end. But okay, let's give it a chance and let's run it. It deleted 109 lines and generated 630 lines, splitting some files in different components and maybe creating some abstraction in between. 6 times. It has finished. I would like to highlight the good things that you should pay really attention. Well, you see that initially it didn't do anything good, but when I ask it, at least even if you will ask to analyze the code, what could be improved, it will be probably capable to understand some of the main issues. So for example, it created more modular architecture, right? It created 4 focused components: the message header, the message bubble, the message list, status bar. Yeah, I mean, that's probably something that I would do myself. The type safety, configuration system, and it also has thought about the accessibility. We usually forget about it, but that's a standard in many enterprise things. Responsive design. Going back to the point, you can always ask AI to showcase what are things being violated, what could be improved, and learn from them. This is the place where you can do that. Now I have accepted all the changes, and actually let's see and analyze what's being done. And there are some points that I really want to highlight here. So of course it created this modular structure. It is really great because we now have this chat, we have many components inside, and we have it being created as modular as we can be. So for example, message bubble now accepts a message if it's a current user to, of course, align the picture on the left side, on the right side. Still, we can see that class name and styles are being mixed together. Even I know if we will ask, it could detect it, that it is a violation, but still those are mixed together. So this system message still is hard-coded. And if you look down here, basically determination if this is current user is by the name of the U and then or the ID of the current user. So I'm not sure how I need both of them. I think one should be enough. Either you use ID or use a name to filter by that, but fine. And you can see, so pretty much it did a great job of splitting these components, but still there are many things that I need to fix. And one of the things that I don't like is the code generated 8 times more lines that it deleted. I have refactored 100 lines into 800 lines. It added this arbitrary timestamp element. It was not there at the initial code. Why it introduced it? Did I ask for it? Is it a good coding practice? Maybe it's the part of the reusability. So here I asked to refactor it. Refactor means changing the code with keeping the existing functionality. So it failed with it. It introduced this arbitrary timestamp. Even more, if you look here, probably it can see, but it also added last seen element. It also generated a bunch of styling for no particular reason. Maybe the utilities are useful, like having these breakpoints, but I mean, the Tailwind itself has the breakpoints. Generating some sort of hex to RGB luminance calculations. If you go here for the chat header, It introduced new statuses for the away, offline, and unknown. Well, of course I could use that, but initially I didn't do that. So why it's there? I need now to support it or remove it. And that is taking my and your time that you need to spend and change these things. Just look at this component right now. Did it make it better? I think I would prefer that it was as original as it was. Look at this. It creates a story section. It loads the messages, okay, with the prompts. For some reason there is this width, okay. It generated a theme selector. It generated position classes. It added keyboard navigation. It added some effects that happening on the keys. And now the cognitive load is just over the roof, that for junior that needs to understand, that will create a PR, and for senior to review this, all these unnecessary things that were implemented, but they were true to the scope. Of course, we could continue prompting and asking, but at that some point it will be not that cost efficient. Imagine that's from one prompt. If you would add more prompts to it, how many things it will generate still. And of course you could see that I'm being too picky and too negative about the future, but I'm more worried about junior developers that are currently in a quite harsh place. It is quite hard to get a proper job where there will be a mentor that could teach you and the AI is being pushed from all the sides, and the feeling that you can just develop something with few lines of English text is so good, but you need to understand what is being down there generated, because you will need to maintain, you will need to fix, and you will need to take responsibility if something goes wrong. Don't be the one that will be replaced by AI because you're just completing a coding task, because at some point business people will get to the prompt window and ask AI to do the things on their own. Use AI to your advantage. Try to get the knowledge, understand why it did that, ask questions, query it, learn from it, and that could replace this experience exchange that you are not getting well, not stuffed in the project. But okay, enough bragging from me. I think I need to go back and continue finishing this. If you're interested to see more such content, of course, subscribe, leave a like. But if not, anyway, keep coding, and I see you next time.